Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gene's Reviews, movie reviews from a regular dude. Okay, today I just got back from the movie theater. There's a theater chain here in Utah that every Wednesday they show a classic movie. They have a matinee and then they show one also in the evening. So I decided to go see High Noon. High Noon is a 1952 American Western film produced by Stanley Kramer from a screenplay by Carl Foreman, directed by Fred Zinnerman, starring Gary Cooper and also Grace Kelly. I gotta say that. The plot, depicted in real time, centers around a small town marshal torn between his sense of duty and love for his new bride, who must face a gang of killers alone. Though mired in controversy with political overtones at the time of its release, the film was nominated for 7 Academy Awards and won 4 for actor, editing, music score, and music song, as well as 4 Golden Globe Awards for actor, supporting actress, score, and cinematography. The film was filmed in black and white, of course. The award winning score was written by Russian born composer Dmitry Tiomkin. High Noon was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress as culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant in 1989. Okay, I'll read you a little bit of the plot. I'd never seen this movie before. Before I read the plot, I want to say that I remember my dad was a huge John Wayne fan, and he liked all of John Wayne's movies. And I remember my dad telling me that he really didn't like High Noon that much because to him it was boring up until the very end of the movie. But I got thinking about it. When High Noon came out, he would have been 15 years old. If I would have seen this at 15 years old, I might have been a little bored with it too. But I actually loved this movie. Here's the plot. In Hadleyville, a small town in New Mexico Territory, Marshal Will Kane, played by Gary Cooper, newly married to Amy Fowler, played by the beautiful Grace Kelly, is preparing to retire. The happy couple is departing for a new life, raising a family and running a store in another town. But word arrives that Frank Miller, played by Ian McDonald, a vicious outlaw whom Kane sent to jail, has been released and is arriving on the noon train. Miller's gang, his younger brother Ben, played by Sheb Woolley, who was also a country singer, and also Jack Colby, played by Lee Van Cleef. I recognized him right at the very beginning of the movie. And Jim Pierce, played by Robert J. Wilkie. They await his arrival at the train station. It is clear that Miller intends to exact revenge. Okay, the thing I liked so much about this movie, compared to like movies nowadays they seem to rely so much on special effects and the spectacle that the movie is. This movie doesn't have any of that. It does have there's one really really cool camera shot where Gary Cooper's walking with his back to the camera down the street, and they do a crane shot and it goes way up high and shows him walking. I thought that was amazing for 1952. You didn't see that type of movie or that type of shot in those older movies. Another thing that I really liked about it was nowadays they wouldn't do this, but in this movie, when they would do a close up on all of them, you could see the beads of sweat running down their face. And you could tell it was either hot from the lights where they were filming, or they're in New Mexico, which is very hot in the desert, and they left it in there. Nowadays, they'd be there with the little towels patting them down so they look perfect and everything, and it would take away from the realism. I loved that in this movie. Also, Another thing that I really liked was there were scenes where a fly would like land on Gary Cooper's sleeve. And nowadays they would shoot that scene over again. But I think it was great that they left it in like that because it makes everything look so real. And the acting in this movie was very good. Grace Kelly, uh, Gary Cooper, everybody in this movie was so good. Gary Cooper was especially good because, yeah, he was the sheriff. He was supposed to be the tough guy and everything, but you saw real vulnerability in his acting. And I really liked that. So, all I've got to say is High Noon out of 10. I'm going to give it a 10. I think it's a perfect movie. I loved the story. I loved everything about the movie. The acting was fantastic. Like I said, nowadays they worry too much about the special effects and the spectacle that's going to be the movie, which is fine. I like that sometimes too, but this relied more on the story, and I really liked that. It was an awesome story, very good movie. I'll give it a 10 out of 10. If you get a chance and you've never seen High Noon, I highly recommend it. You should check it out. See you next time.